The Dark Souls trilogy is 3 games spanning thousands of years of fictional history, built on a lore system so deliberately obscure that entire YouTube channels have dedicated years to decoding it. Most players never understood what they were actually playing through. Today, we fix that. The complete story of Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3. Let's go. Everything in Dark Souls begins with nothing. Literally. Before the world had form, there was only the Age of Ancients, a gray, foggy, featureless existence ruled by immortal dragons. No color, no warmth, no death. Just endless gray stillness stretching forever in every direction. Then the first flame appeared. Nobody summoned it, nobody created it. It simply ignited from nothing, and with it came something that had never existed before: disparity. Heat and cold, life and death, light and dark. The universe woke up, and 4 beings who had been sleeping inside the earth found power within that flame. Gwyn, Lord of Sunlight, claimed the power of light and became a god of devastating strength. The Witch of Isilith claimed the power of fire and became a master of sorcery. Nito, the first of the dead, claimed dominion over death itself. And a furtive pygmy, barely mentioned, almost forgotten, claimed the Dark Soul, a fragment of humanity so powerful that splitting it created every human being that would ever exist. Together, Gwyn and his allies used their power to wage war on the immortal dragons. Gwyn struck them with bolts of sunlight. Seath, the Scaleless, a dragon who betrayed his own kind, exposed their weakness. The dragons fell. The Age of Fire began. And for a long time, it was glorious. But fire fades. That is the fundamental truth of the entire trilogy. The first flame is not permanent. It burns down like any fire eventually does. And when it weakens, the world begins to die. Warmth leaves, civilization crumbles, and a curse spreads through humanity. The dark sign, which marks people with an undying curse. They cannot die permanently, they just hollow out, lose their memories, their personality, their humanity, one death at a time, until they are empty, shambling shells with nothing left inside. These cursed humans are called the Undead, and the kingdoms of the world, terrified of what happens when the undead population explodes, built asylums to lock them away and forget about them. Gwyn himself discovered the truth long before anyone else. The Age of Fire was ending. The flame was fading, and he made a choice that defines everything that follows in all 3 games. He linked himself to the first flame, sacrificed his own body as kindling, burned himself to nothing to buy the world more time. It worked. The flame rekindled, the Age of Fire continued, but Gwyn did not survive it as anything recognizable. He became a hollow shell sitting on a throne at the heart of a crumbling kingdom called Lordran, guarding a fire he sacrificed everything to feed. That is where Dark Souls 1 begins. You are an undead, nameless, cursed, locked in an asylum at the edge of the world. A dead knight falls through your cell ceiling, leaves you a key, and you escape. A mysterious figure named Oswald tells you there is a prophecy. An undead chosen by fate will ring 2 bells, gather the Lord's souls, and face the final challenge of Lordran. You follow that path. You ring the bells, you fight through crumbling kingdoms and poisoned swamps and cities built on top of other cities. You collect the Lord's souls from beings of immense power, including Seath, the dragon who betrayed his own kind and was granted immortality by Gwyn, who went insane from his own research. Including the 4 kings, ancient rulers of the city of New Londo, who were given a fragment of Gwyn's own soul and eventually driven to darkness. And then you reach the end, the kiln of the first flame, and you find Gwyn. He is not majestic. He is not a god anymore. He is a hollow, a burnt, frantic, desperate remnant of something that used to be divine, attacking you on instinct because his mind is completely gone. You defeat him, and now the choice the entire game has been building towards sits in front of you. Link the flame yourself. Sacrifice your body like Gwyn did, and buy the world more time. or walk away. Let the flame die. Let the age of fire end, and allow whatever comes next to begin. Dark Souls 1 does not tell you which choice is right, and that ambiguity is entirely intentional. Dark Souls 2 takes place long after the first game, so long after that the specific names and kingdoms of Dark Souls 1 are ancient legend. The world has cycled. The flame was linked, faded again, linked again, faded again. This has happened so many times that history itself has blurred. The curse is still spreading. Your character, a new undead, travels to a kingdom called Dranlake searching for a cure. The kingdom was built by a king named Vendrick who discovered something extraordinary. He found a way to partially resist the curse by stealing something called the Crowns, ancient relics of power from 4 kings who ruled before him. But the real revelation of Dark Souls 2 is philosophical rather than narrative. The game is explicitly about the cycle itself, about the fact that the world keeps doing this. Fire rises, fire fades, someone links it, it rises again. Kingdoms are built, they crumble, they are forgotten, new ones rise on their ashes. Vendrick eventually understood the cycle so clearly that he refused to link a flame. He chose to hollow rather than become another sacrifice in an endless loop that never actually solves anything. The soul at the center of Dark Souls 2 belongs to someone called Aldia, Vendrick's brother, who conducted horrific experiments on humans and dragons, trying to find a path outside the cycle entirely. He achieves a kind of immortality, but at a monstrous cost. He is no longer human in any recognizable form. At the end, Aldia confronts you directly with the central question. There is no path that avoids the cycle, he tells you. But there might be a third option nobody has tried. Not linking the flame, not letting it die. Something else, something nobody has found yet. Dark Souls 2 ends without resolving it, because the answer has not been found yet. Dark Souls 3 is the end, the final age. The flame has been linked so many times and the world has cycled so often that reality itself is breaking down. Time has lost coherence. Ancient kingdoms from different eras are bleeding into each other geographically. The world is collapsing inward like a dying star. The Age of Fire is ending for the last time, and a group of massively powerful beings called the Lords of Cinder, previous chosen undead who linked the flame in past cycles, have been resurrected and asked to link it one final time to keep the world alive a little longer. They refuse. Every single one of them abandons their thrones. They have done this before. They have sacrificed themselves before. They are done. You are called the Ashen One, a failed champion of a previous age revived from a pile of ash. Your mission is to hunt down these Lords of Cinder, drag them back to their thrones, and force the linking of the flame to happen one last time. You track them down one by one. Yorm the Giant, a lord who linked the flame to protect a people who feared and hated him anyway. Aldrich, a saint who discovered the Age of Fire was ending and began devouring gods to absorb their power before everything collapsed. Lothric, a prince who simply refused from birth, who saw the cycle for what it was and decided he would rather watch it end than participate in its perpetuation. At the very end of Dark Souls 3, you reach the final confrontation, and again you have a choice. Link the flame one last time and extend a dying age that should have ended long ago, or let it fade and accept the Age of Dark. That is the Dark Souls 3 trilogy. 3 games, one unbroken philosophical argument about cycles, sacrifice, and the cost of clinging to something past the point it should have ended. The question the trilogy asks across hundreds of hours of deliberately hidden storytelling is devastatingly simple. When something is over, do you have the courage to let it end? Or do you keep feeding the flame?